Our next comic coming up is from Ann Arbor. He's funny as hell. Again, I had him at Augie's. I met him there. Let's give a big round of applause for Khurum Sheikh.
Thank you, thank you. I dressed up. I thought this was going to be the Ritz-Carlton. This is not the Ritz-Carlton. Actually, even if I'm not funny, would you do me a favor and laugh? Because Tim Dean, your first comedian, his girlfriend said if I'm funny, she'd let me fuck her. I'm kidding. She said she didn't care if I was funny. All right, already a great crowd. Actually, I like to do recent event things and stuff. We got the budget crisis right now. Just gauge the audience here. Do we blame the Tea Party Republicans? All right, do we blame Barack Obama and Democrats? Never. Do you guys know about the budget? Did you guys at least vote? Did you? Oh, did you? Okay, did you get one of these I voted stickers? Can you see? You can see I wear mine year round. I didn't even vote. I just wear it so it looks like I'm a U.S. citizen. Thank you. I'm going to go to Arizona and sell these. I'm not kidding. Who needs one? Who needs one? Anybody? Usually they need them in the kitchen. Oh, I made that up. Yeah, no Hispanics in the kitchen. They got more Hispanics in the kitchen than the Tigers do. Cutting edge stuff. Actually, I am a U.S. citizen, but I was born in Pakistan. Thank you for that warm response, Warren. I was 7 years old when we first learned we're coming to America. The only thing I knew about America was how rich it was, so I imagined golden streets everywhere, rubies, diamonds. We landed in Detroit. In 1968, right after the riots. I'm like, they've done a bait and switch on my ass. 18 hours on airplane, I'm in Afghanistan. And now you can imagine when I travel, they thoroughly search me. It's the point now, if I'm gonna fly anywhere, only thing I wear at the airport is a thong. And I'm cocky about it. I'll be like, yeah, go ahead, look for my weapon of mass destruction. They just waved me through. They're like, you ain't hurting anyone with that. Bothered me so much. I saw on the internet they have this pump, makes your private area bigger. Tim, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, it's guaranteed to add 3 inches. I'm like, ooh, I can double my manhood. All right, that's a math joke. I knew that wouldn't work here. But it's funny, being from Pakistan, people assume I'm a Muslim because it's an Islamic country, but they're like very strict. They pray like 5 times a day. I don't even know how to pray like that. Tim Tebow's more Muslim than me. Only prayer I know by heart is, God, I hope that test is negative. I do that pretty often. But I gotta tell you, while we was talking about the political events and stuff, that you see, we just finished the one election. They're already talking about Hillary in 2016. Do we like that here? Just curious, no? So I don't know if it's because the Clintons have been in the news so much and she wanted to capitalize on it, but Monica Lewinsky just wrote a new book. If anybody's read it. What's funny is the critics are saying it sucks. And evidently the book's not very good either. It's a good way to blow $20. And let's see, and did you see Casey Anthony was back in the news? If anybody saw, she filed for bankruptcy, so Hustler magazine reiterated they would give her $500,000 to pose nude. So just curious, all these lovely ladies, would you do it for like $500,000? Oh, okay. You do it for like $1.98? I just got to return some bottles. And actually, they're doing a movie about her life, if anybody saw. Actually, last year, you could go online, say which actors should play Casey Anthony. They announced the winner. It's going to be Charlie Sheen. And speaking of movies, did you see, how many of you lovely ladies here read the 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, okay. Well, they're doing a movie based on that book, but it's already controversial because these movie studios like to play it safe, so they wanted an actor who had a built-in audience, so the lead female role is going to Betty White. You like that? Let's see what else. Current events. Did you see, it was some time ago about that humongous sinkhole opened up, devoured a man? Kim Kardashian? Is that wrong? And let's see, what about, did you see Dennis Rodman went to North Korea? If you remember, he was, actually the leader wants him to come back and bring Viagra. So evidently it's not only their rockets they can't keep up. See, they had a rocket that crashed. Actually, somebody earlier was taking a Viagra joke. Did you hear the one about the woman kept telling her husband to get those pills that would help him get an erection? So finally he complied, came back with diet pills for her. I'm not endorsing this. This is not being... Actually, you guys are a great crowd supporting live comedy. Honestly, I am having the time of my life because ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to do stand-up comedy like this, but it seemed too scary, so I played it safe. Recently retired after 25 years as a Ann Arbor police officer. Well, thank you for that warm response. And I mentioned I'm from Pakistan, so whatever you think of my act, though, chances are I gotta be the only Pakistani police officer doing stand-up comedy in Warren, Michigan. Got that going for me, thank you. Who looks like Johnny Mathis. Few of you know, young people have to Google him. And it's funny, when I first started with the Ann Arbor Police, as I said, it was over 25 years ago, and it was a not very diverse department. It was like almost all white. We had a handful of black officers, and then me. Kind of like the crowd here. But so whenever a citizen had a complaint against me, they didn't get my name, Sergeant could still instantly figure it out, because you'd always ask a citizen, he'd be like, can you describe this officer? Citizen be, oh yeah, it was that Puerto Rican guy. Of course, now we know where Pakistan is, right? Which isn't necessarily good for me. People learn I'm from Pakistan, they'll dislike me. Because Bin Laden was hiding there, like I had something to do with that. But now some of us do like our firefighters and police officers, don't we? Okay, thank you, I'll milk that. So, to me it's just weird though. Hate me for being Pakistani, love me for being a police officer, but it's really weird, I get the complete opposite reaction at my Al-Qaeda meetings. I do not go to Al-Qaeda meetings, we chat online. Actually, I kid you, I often don't even mention at a regular comedy club that I'm a police officer retired, because it seems like half the crowd has just smoked marijuana. Might be more than half here, huh? Who wants to admit it? Yeah! Woo. Well, you must know in Ann Arbor it's not a big deal, right? Anybody know what the fine is in Ann Arbor? Oh, I heard somebody say 25. You must have paid it. It's 25. It used to actually be $5 with the hash bash. If you remember, they raised it to 25 currently. What's ironic there, though, if you have cigarettes, possession of tobacco for someone under age 18 is a $100 fine. So we get these teenagers with cigarettes, but they're pleading with us. It's marijuana. See, just to save $75. I'll do the math. I'm from Pakistan. And a lot of people actually don't realize, but the breathalyzer will detect if you've been smoking marijuana. People think it just detects alcohol, but the way we can tell is if we give you the mouthpiece and you go, thank you, officer. Pretty good clue you've been smoking some weed. And of course, anytime you take enforcement action, people always think it's because of their race or ethnicity. It's like right before I retired, I pulled over this gentleman before I could get his license and registration. He started screaming at me. The only reason I'm stopping him is because he's Mexican. Was so unfair, he wouldn't listen. It's honest goodness truth. I had no idea he was Mexican. Only reason I stopped him, I thought he was black. Oh, come on, Ward, you can laugh at that. That was not the only reason. He was with a skinny white woman. You know I'm kidding, she wasn't skinny. Thank you. Actually, when I first started, I'd be nervous to do that. I didn't want to offend anyone, but I think we're too politically correct, don't you? Yeah, I say have fun. It wasn't easy when I started. I'm not sure how the veteran officers did it, but they rewired my siren, so whenever I go to pull somebody over, instead of usual police whistle sound, it would go. Took me 2 weeks to learn to do that. Think it comes natural. It does not. I had to go to Dearborn. Some of you have been to Dearborn. I'll have to be honest, when I see an attractive woman, like many of the women here, I'll use the stereotypes in my favor. Tell them I'm a doctor. But that's weird, because you have the stereotype we're professionals, doctors, then you have the opposite, that we're terrorists. So what I do, I combine the two. Tell them I'm a proctologist. Certain age, those are the terrorists of the medical profession. And see what else is interesting in police work. One thing is, if we pulled somebody over and they give us any kind of lip or attitude, we'll give them 2 tickets to a Lions game. Is that too soon? Too soon? Actually, I mentioned from Ann Arbor. Did you guys see the U of M basketball team almost won the championship last year? Do you remember? Yeah. The final game. But Louisville won. Actually, they were the kind of sentimental favorite after that guy broke his leg. Remember, you could see the bone. People that were looking at the game, they hit their eyes. They could hardly look at it. For a moment, I thought they were watching a Pistons game. I know, you're a Pistons fan. Actually, I'm a big Pistons fan, but I think the reason I like them so much is because the first woman I ever had sex with looked exactly like Ben Wallace. Sentimental that way. She did not. She was built like Ben Wallace. I'll wrap up with a few more police things. Like I remember actually I was working communication section as a dispatcher, and Comcast called, said they were having an issue with a customer. They wanted the police to come out. So I said, all right, well, we'll be out next Thursday between 10 and 6. And I remember late at night, I actually saw this car weaving and pulled it over. I could smell the alcohol, so I asked the guy, I said, where are you headed? And he's like, believe it or not, officer, I'm going to a lecture on the evils of alcohol. I'm like, dude, it's 2:30 in the morning. Who's giving this lecture? He's like, oh, my wife. But it's funny, whenever I'm done with the set, people always ask, are you really a police officer? That's just a gag. So I carry evidence. Because let me ask you this, if I wasn't really a police officer, would I have these? Bad example, I think half the crowd does. Well, I'll wrap up with the funnest thing I had was when I was a police officer is arresting prostitutes. Because you got to flirt with them and stuff. But I remember there was one, she had a really short mini skirt on, she was wearing crotchless panties. She came in, she's like, hey officer, you want some of this? Of course, I was professional, I said, no, I don't. She got offended, she's like, why, are you gay or something? I said, no, I just don't want any of that. I mean, look what it did to your panties. Besides, I could see her balls. I think she's from Roseville. I'm kidding, I banged her. That's my time. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
One more time for Khurum.